Final hour of the trading session. Welcome back to the close. Let's have a look at how things stand as we head into the final hour of trading here. You can see we are still in positive territory. S&P about 0.25%, the Dow 0.15%, the NASDAQ leading, which is nice to see. If we are going to finish in positive territory here, the Russell as well. Back to the upside. So we're hanging on to gains after it looked like early on this morning we might give them up for the second day in a row and finish in negative territory, but not so far, guys. Lots to discuss heading into the last hour of the day here, including Disney with news. You can take that off anytime there, Lucas. Thank you. Hi, guys. NNVC finally reopens, gives everyone an opportunity to get out if you were short, and then what an opportunity long, guys.
Yeah, and stick around, of course. Well, first of all, welcome, but stick around at the end because trade of the day will be NNVC, and it was a little bit interesting to say the least off the open for both. If you're holding a short, which I was, and I know Brendan was as well, and then a reversal into a long, and then a short that I didn't hold on to at the top there. But that's not the only thing moving. I fought Upstart and Upstart won. Upstart won. Upstart won. But now it's round two for me here off the high on Upstart, and I missed out on holding Lucid alongside. We'll get to that in a minute. It's Bros that is catching my attention, and we'll get it just pulled back $4 on Dutch Brothers, and if it pulls $1.50 more into 56, I want to see if we can catch this at the breakout price. This broke out in the afternoon. Just after 1 o'clock. It broke out at 56. I want to see get a bit of a dip buy on Dutch Brothers. Again, ridiculously strong, man.
Yeah, we like Dutch Brothers there. Okay, so we've actually, what do they say? Revenge is a dish best served cold. So we'll do that a little bit here and do a little bit of a wink because we still have this ATER. And when we left you guys, I mean, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was 4 hours ago at 11 o'clock. I still had this trade. And I said that I'd have this trade as long as I could today. Probably should have got out for $1.50 winner on a $13 name. That would have made some sense. But we held this thinking that we could even crash even below where we started today. So we're still in this ATER. And what I'm talking about with the dish best Revenge is a dish, best served cold, that we were initially short on this name. We got out and went long and then averaged in and were able to make a little bit of profit, but then got stopped out at what at that point was the very bottom, which basically still is, but then we let it rip all the way back up, and then we were very, very patient with this. We even talked about this on the memes, on our Memes and Movers and or our midday show, that I was shorting that. So you see that rejection at 14 right there? This top is people like me normally punching out when I said, okay, you know, I'm gonna go short here and give it to 14. So a lot of traders do that, which is why we look at even dollar numbers, and then bang, we short that right there. Out. Look at that out rate on view up 13.34. So that's 65 cents or so. And then right now we're in the money over $1, which is nice for ATER. And we are looking, hey, what up, Maggie? We are looking for the bottom here, 12.60 possibly to get taken out, maybe even 12.50. But welcome to the fastest hour on YouTube. We're going to be trading a lot of names here.
100%, and of course, Upstart makes another run at the high of the day. A stock that isn't running to its high. We'll get to Life in a second. It's not moving too much, but you do remember HLBZ from this morning. It is now looking like it's cracking. I was just in this trade, like right before we came on. This was consolidating. I'm like, ooh, this could be a good one. As we get a consolidation lower on HLBZ, it then stopped out. Relatively tight stop because of where I was shorting it. It wasn't a level that, it was a nice consolidation. I favor the short side going into the close, obviously, but it wasn't at a level that I absolutely loved. I did take a couple of swings at the top, and the lesson for me on this one today was I wanted to play this both ways, and I find with these halts, ridiculously whippy, really low float stocks, it's just easier for me, at least, to pick a direction and then look for the trades in that direction. And once I decided I wanted to short this thing, it was a heck of a lot better, able to get the top wick. I think it's in a bit of a downward trend now. And you've even broken the pre-market. It's not the pre-market low, but since about 8 o'clock, you did have this pullback at about 30. It did break that level. It looks like we're getting relatively weak there. And NNVC, I don't think it's probably not done from a volume standpoint. Certainly it's trying to get back into the upside. Just to show you guys the last couple of days what's been going on with that. Just today what's been going on. This is the crazy halt that we had, and then it's been gangbusters, sort of jailbreaking to the upside. You now have a 650 level, which is holding up rather nicely. If it looks like it's taking out that level on volume, for power hour, I do like that break for a long trade. It's not a ton of volume right now, so if I got triggered in, the volume was piss. Quite frankly, I would probably just get right out of it, but NNVC does set up for a 650 break. I mean, has made a nice bottom and still holding that first halt to the upside. It's still actually holding that low. It's done it a couple of times now, so that's why I'll remain at least a little bit bullish on it for the 650 breakout.
Yeah, and then, actually, I should be looking at NNVC. We'll look at another name that's rocking right now. Disney comes out. Bob Chapek, current CEO. Resurgence of COVID and the variant is creating production delays. So when you are obviously in the entertainment and content business, you do not want to see any said production delays. And you know what? We haven't traded this that hard, but we'll do it now because we're on the show. So we took a first little small trade here. When 173 was taken for the first time, basically, that's when we went long, and I said I'm going to give this $1 because my target at that time was this kind of wick up there, which is about 175. Probably get out halfway, you know, around 174, and then try to take that. So to me, that was worth it. It drops back down. Then we got overfilled long there, and then got out. So that was another 30-cent hit. But right now, what we're trying to do is build this position. So we have 45 cents in the money right now. We just took the long rate. I mean, this is just popping right now. So we just took the long just now, about 1 minute ago, and now you're starting to take out some of these levels. So 173.50. I think maybe now, you know, because we're down on this name, if I can get a 174 print on this trade and take $1.25 and basically flat myself on this name, then I think that's probably worth doing. So if we can get anywhere back into this area right now, 174-ish, I think that's probably worth it. I mean, it's going to be good because if we can grab it, I mean, I'm hoping the momentum can get going. The volumes, you can't really see the volume there, but the volume is pretty low on the, maybe if I can move this chart up and I can show you guys the volume. That's good, thanks guys. The volume is not super heavy right now, so if we can get a 174, we'll take that. So let's sit a little ahead of that, see if we can make about $1.20 or so on this trade, and then we'll just move on. So that's that. Clover, I'll talk about Clover in a minute, but it's absolutely doing nothing. One might say she barcoding.
Yeah, and not barcoding today has been RWLK, and this was actually on our morning watch list, our free watch list, by the way, sort of towards the end of the list, but it got very, very close to a key level on the daily here at about 250, and this is an area more so than an obvious level. This is 250 here. You can see a couple of closes and then an open right off that 250 level and a clear to reversal of, I guess, momentum. But a couple of times it did trade through. 55s and 60s were highs that got put in. So if it does get up there again, you know, I'd give it the leeway to come back in at least a little bit. I think there'd be like that chance, you know, that small chance that it could take out 250, go to like 55, go to 60, and then come right back in. So you know, I want to give this one an opportunity for me to be able to get the short, but it could break that high, and I would still be looking for the short, even if I were to get it. So this one is definitely on my radar. We're getting very close to entry point on bros. Every time, man, every time it gets me, it's not a NASDAQ stock, Neil. It's a New York stock. It's on the NYSE.
Come on, bro.
Bro?
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Bro, you know what's weird? We went to high school with
an NYSE stock.
We went to high school with a guy who, him and his university roommate only call each other bro. And if you're ever around them, it's funny for like 15 minutes. And then it just like...
Yeah, I'm already annoyed.
It's just out of hand, man.
So halted stock here, INCY. Just halting right now. Looks like news pending.
I know.
Yeah, this is Insight Corporation. And we'll have to see where this is going. Obviously, Brendan will come, you know, when he does see something. Right now, there is absolutely nothing. I don't even know why my chart's not loading. Hopefully, it will load in a second. This always happens to me at the end of the day. So there is a fix for this, apparently. But here we go. So a nice little move to the upside here. Starting to go just right now at that 50 period moving average. The stock doesn't look like it wants to move that much, but we'll see what's going on with Insight here. I'm not even familiar with what they do, to be honest with you. And they just halted out of nowhere. So there was really no big news. No one leaked anything right here. So just trading like normal and then a halt. So that's good. I mean, I wish that's the way most stocks would halt. And then that way you don't have to get caught in anything. But right now, people in INCY, probably not many of you, it's on 1 million shares, but it is halted, news pending.
And of course, this is going to happen on Dutch Brothers. I said buy the dip into this breakout price. And this is off of 56. And this is on me for bidding 56.15. The way this stock has a spread, and if it has a 20 or 30 cent spread, then when you're buying in front of 56, you should be bidding 20 to 30 cents in front of 56. That seems rather obvious, but at the same time, I didn't do it. So I'll go ahead and cancel that order. That was a nice little $1.50 bounce. Of course, it did it without me because you just saw me miss. I don't want it coming through and hitting that level again. I want to fill the first time where you catch that bounce. There's no good, like after it's already bounced here, it's no good to me taking that level again. I'll scale right back into this dip price. If it wants to go to 54, I'll sit at 54. Call it like 45, something in that range, to try to get a dip buy on the stock. It looks like it's over. Well, not over, but looks like that level is over. And HLBZ, I mean, of course, this is exactly what's going to happen. This is just, sometimes it's just the way it is. And that's me. Yeah, man. Sometimes you got to make that top wick, and then it's got to make the flush right after. And that's just the way it's going to be. If you're trading, if you trade like the style that I do with shorting, you're going to happen to you. And now you have 29 sitting on the bid. Like I said, I feel like this one, I'm not saying it's done for the day, but it just feels like it's ridiculously weak. Like I'll be buying dips on bros because I think it might not be over. I'll be looking for those tops at RWLK because I think that one can still go. But HLBZ, despite still being up 100%, believe it or not, does feel like its runs, at least for today, might be over. And there was a question about Caterpillar. I can go on about that one. I don't know. We might both want to talk about Caterpillar. I don't want to speak for you here, Sean, but there's a question that was asking about is a good place to buy dips in Caterpillar. And the second this daily chart loads, my answer is going to be this is 100% a stock that's on my radar for buying dips. I already own it and I'm now out of the money on it. I will tell you that for sure. But when I bought it, I talked about 180 and we're not that far from 180. We go another $5, $10 to the downside. You're going right into what was a double support level. And I know when we brought this up, probably in the 200s here, I would have said, like I know for sure I said it, that I want to be buyer here in front of that 180 level. We're not there yet. And I still feel like you can be patient buying dips. I know we're up 0.5% or almost 0.5% today, but I still think you can be patient buying the dips. Caterpillar's on my radar. I want to be adding to that position. Much like Uber, I expected to get into that one in stages. I'm not even done, I don't think, getting Uber shares, and I probably have a couple of more digs at Caterpillar as well. It's not there for me yet. I mean, if you're not in it at all, sure. I mean, yeah, why not? Buy it at 190 if you like the company. I'm waiting for maybe another couple of days to see if we can go a little bit lower and get better price, but I am already invested in it.
Yeah, we've talked about this over and over. I think it's a good opportunity to buy high quality companies, and if you're getting a blue chip company at levels that you're happy with, then you can do something like that. And like on that note, bros, okay? Like, so I know Neil was just talking about this, but I guarantee you, I mean, I don't know how I can guarantee it to you, but that bros is going to be back down to $45 very, very soon, like in the next week or so, okay? A lot of this is just momentum to the upside, you know, not enough shares available, things like that. Bros will do something. They'll come and offer or something like that, and they'll come back down here to 48 or 45. That's what you might call on bros. So what's up, bro?
Hi. A couple things. Insight, guys, nothing yet. It is definitely news pending, so we'll keep you posted. Yeah, you can see there's nothing on that screen. Moderna, on the other hand, I just noted, guys, popped up on volume there. It did make a day high, pulled back to prior support. Looks like it might want to set up again to make another run at day highs, but we're getting into significant levels for mRNA, guys.
And I know for sure I said this, if not yesterday, at some point I mentioned this one last week about the levels that I'll love for like the open and shorting pops. They're not the same thing when you come into the close. Like the last hour is a little bit of a different beast. So like, I mean, all last week I was saying you get into this 440 to 445 level, it's all systems go for a rollover on Moderna. It's not an automatic short for me at these prices, not at this time of day. That's a pure 9:30, 10 o'clock, maybe like 10, 15, 10:30 kind of thing for me in that first hour of the day when I like those levels. So yes, they're key. Yes, I will be all over Moderna tomorrow. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean I won't necessarily trade it today, but I'll be all over this one tomorrow if we're getting a chance to trade off of these levels. And at some point, I could expect to see us break out at 447, 450, right? Like Moderna, I mean, it's a gorgeous looking chart. It's not. This isn't like the best looking breakout if it gets through this, but I think that can take you towards a 500 high. And if it gets to 500, I'm probably going to take a swing at it just because 500 is 500, and it would be a double top. But we're still a ways away from that. I feel it's rather unlikely that we do get there. There was a question about Life, and apologies. Thank you, Day Trading Mom, for reminding me. And I'll tell you right now.
Day Trading Mom?
Right? I love that. First of all, I just love it. It's a fantastic name. It says everything you need to know. I have an issue with Life because I'm going to assume I'm going to make a couple assumptions here. Anytime, and we had a question about this yesterday. It's like, look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 attempts at a top here. And these are like wick tops. It's not an obvious level. It's like 1175 to 1180. And it's very, very whippy stock for something that's done 7 million shares. The more times it comes into this, the more crowded any short would be, and the more I necessarily don't like it. Like, to me, if you had this short and would have been off 1175, it's a long way from me saying I'm not taking the short and look at it break out through the high. But it already gave you this pullback into this breakout price, and then it held it as support. After 1, 2, 3, call it 4 top attempts at a top, and then it gives you a retracement, like a 50-cent retracement on an 1175 move. To me, that you take that, it doesn't break it doesn't give you VWAP, and then when it holds it again and puts in a higher low, if anything, you can look for a breakout. I just don't love the volume. The volume's absolute garbage. Can you guys? Yeah, you guys can see that. The volume's absolute trash. So I don't like the breakout. I wouldn't have liked the short. If you had it here, fair enough. And then if you just pop to this thing on the daily chart, you can see what I'll be waiting for. Like, yeah, let's see it break out through 12. Let's see that happen, and then you can make a run on what I think would be a more interesting high for shorters. Or if you're holding a long position here, I mean, it hasn't given you much reason to get out. Like, if you bought this consolidation on Life, put yourself in a swing traders. Like, if you bought let's call it a breakout on Friday and held over the weekend after witching, which I don't know why you would do that. Or maybe you bought this dip, or maybe you bought it at the close, or maybe you bought the gap up. Any of these levels, what reason do you have right now to get out? Like, you're probably looking for it to break, test 13 even, and then put a trail on it. Like, you're not necessarily, unless you're really, really conservative, sure, you could be taking some of it for 10% and getting out in front of those levels. But ask yourself this question. If you were getting some of that out for a 10% return on a swing, you've probably already done it at least one of these 5 or 6 times that those traders had the opportunity to do it. I mean, when it tested the 6th or 7th time, most people that were going to do it have already done it at that point. There's not as much selling that's going to be in there at that price level. The shorters have probably run away and said, okay, it's not going. I'm getting out of the way of it. And that's why I would not be stepping into a short on Life. Let's let it run to 13. I think it gets pretty interesting at that particular price. And I'm not sure it has the carry through to get through that level.
Life. Yeah, good talk there. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's the thing. We're always trying to analyze our positions before you get into them and have yourself some logical, reasons to buy or to sell something. With that being said, my reason for averaging into Disney is because we do have this low right here, and we're just going to see if it wants to hold. I mean, I don't know what the market's going to do here at the close. I thought we would be red today. We did tick red, so you were right a little bit, but we're not going to close red, it doesn't look like. I mean, who knows? If the market does want to rally, which we're just really close to that 15,000 right now. That's this bottom. We've ticked that a couple times here today. We've talked all the time about this 15,000 level, and look at it just hold. So it's a great little level there. And now this is our average price on Disney is right here, 52. So we have this now. We just took a little bid there at 20. It ripped up to 75. That's only 25 cents. We're down a little bit here on Disney, so we do need to get this back to like 173.50 would be kind of cool. And again, that's another dollar win there. So I'm going to cancel my higher offer, which is up here, change it to right here. If we can get this back to, just a little bit before that, if we could take $1 on the first half, then let the next half ride, that's sort of the plan of action right now on Disney. And then we're going to use this like 170, 175 or so area to get out, basically right where we did right there, because we don't need this to happen. Go down to 171, and then that's that, right? I mean, we don't have the rest of the day here. Like, we only have 40, which is the rest of the day, 40 minutes. Neil and I trading actual equity, and it's policy here on our prop floor that you have to be flat at 4 o'clock or slightly after. So there's no overnight positions whatsoever. So we are going to try to manage this the best we can. And I think Disney would be a little bit of a hold here at these levels. If you're building a position in your long-term account or anything like that, you got a good little dip down at 3.4%. Disney Plus is still working. I don't have a problem. Their movies are pretty cool right now. They're coming out. I think the latest one was good, right? I didn't watch it yet. Scarlett is in it. What is she? Black Widow, I guess.
That was good. I really enjoyed that one. Yes. But I haven't seen the new.
The Chinese. Shang-Chi or something. I don't know.
Anyways,
wow.
it's only in the theaters, right? So because.
Look, man,
I'm a streamer. I'm a stream guy. I'm not back in the theaters yet, man. And that was my thing. Like, I'm a huge movie guy. and I'm not going. Like, why? Why am I going back to the theater? I will. Like Disney,
I mean, the experience
you
of the
can
theater is
take
good.
my money. Like what they should do is just offer me like a home like that, the home premiere.
Yeah.
Just let me subscribe to that and get every home premiere you have, and I will pay a flat fee every single for the whole year, and then I don't have to worry about it. Like I just know I'm going to get Cruella. I just know I'm going to get Mulan. Like I would pay for that. I think other people would. I'm not really actually pleading Disney. I am. I'd love to be able to do that.
Well, trust me, Disney will figure out a way to get more revenues. There's no doubt about
money.
that.
Take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
I mean, the market takes our money, no problem. I'm sure.
Our walk's about to take money.
I'm sure Disney has no problem doing that. Okay, so that's a little talk on Disney there. So we'll move on. ATER, just quickly here. We do have this $1.20 in the money. This is not a phantom position. This is real, and we're just struggling right now around here. So I'm going to try to keep it as real as I can and realize a dollar winner. So if we go back up here through 12.89, then that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to put a bid for 12.90. And what I'm using is called a stop order. So if you guys have executable options on your platform, I'm sure they all do have stop limits, things like that. So all I'm going to put in is say if, so this is the stop limit option, right? So if 1290 prints on ATER. Sometimes some options are, you can set it to the bid or to the ask. I'm fine with just the price. If 1290 prints, then buy 13s. So what's going to happen is the minute it sees a 1290 print here on ATER, it will throw out a limit bid up to 13. So that's going to give me coverage enough to get out, I believe. Spread right now 4 or 5 pennies. So I think me crossing up 10 will get me the fill that I want, and plus there'll be liquidity at 13 anyways. So that's the plan of action here on ATER. I'm just going to put that order in and realize that full dollar if we crack through 12.8, 12.90. If not, I'm just going to take whatever it is at the close.
Oh, here we go. I love Sludge Mon Vaughn. If you're gonna drop some Clay Davis, and I'm gonna get in with you. I can't do it for real, but yes, CRVS is still going.
Shit.
I can't finish. You say it. It's all good.
I can't really do it.
The Clay Davis.
Shit.
Downtown Clay Davis. Come on now. If you've never seen The Wire, I've watched The Wire like 5 times. And I plan on watching. I'm actually going to probably start it a 6th time.
Neil, there's this new show called The Wire. You should probably think about watching it.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I have a thing that I do where, like, when I work out, I don't listen to music. I actually put on something that I've already seen before, and I just watch it.
Oh, like an episode.
Yeah, so it motivates me. It's like, oh, if I want to see that next episode, I have to go get a workout in. So it's worked for me. Obviously, the majority of the human population would prefer to listen to music. That's just what I do, and I understand I'm weird. I get that. But CRVS, yes, it's still going. But it's showing some real signs of turning at 950, which is what I should have been chewing out here. It just turned at 954, failed break through 954. You can probably guess that much like our walk here, which I'm short at 48, I let it break 50 like I said I was going to, and it couldn't get past 52. CRVS off 950. I like this consolidation. It's a tall ask for this to continue to extend. It is ridiculously strong, so I don't want to completely write it off, but I want to see if I can get something in the 35 range.
Shit, what is happening right now?
I gotta watch
that. Okay, yes, so thank you so much here for everybody watching the show and joining us. I mean, this has been a lot of fun once again here today. So we're pretty excited to move forward with some of this trading in our midday show as well with Trader Pratt and the amazing Miss V. They crushed it one more time again today. It's going to keep happening on the show. I can guarantee you that, my friends. So let's just keep on going with what we're talking about here. And for me, that is going to be this, ATER. We've already talked about where we're looking at that. Clover, we talked about that as well. Let's have a quick look at Clover. Remember I said this is what's happening? Yeah. We were lucky enough at about 12.10 or so. Our first buy was in 7.88. Now, sometimes Clover will move $1. Sometimes
I have an idea. So I would, and again, it's not to make you tweet something. I know that's a lot of trouble for you. But you could actually,
I hate tweeting
but you could screen cap that and then say every time someone asks us what barcoding is, that's what barcoding is.
Yeah, this is good point. This is exactly what barcoding is. And today, 778, like this is a 6-cent range. It would have been awesome to play this range, but I just wasn't doing it. And now that I notice it, I mean, believe me, we are sitting here trading, but we are, building the show and looking for moves and things like that. I should have gone back to Clover and started to bid here, but you guys know from the morning that I'm bidding in the 60s, and now I can just basically cancel that. We'll see if Clover can get back to the upside. I mean, we've taken winners on this, but I mean, 2 fills there is not enough. Like, we still have 80% of the trade. So these are just small outs. We were hoping we would break above this area, and we didn't. That's why we didn't get it all out. Otherwise, I just would have took the 5 cents, which is basically today's range on Clover. So put me to sleep, why don't you, Clover? And we will wait to see where it goes from here. But right now, Clover not doing a hell of a lot. And I still have some offers out. So I'm offering 94s, 97s, things like that. But I'm going to change that into the 80s here. We can get 88 print. I'll be happy with that.
I got like a couple of things. We'll do this first of all, because that failed break. Remember I said at 250 on our walk, it would be an area, because when you look at the daily, it's kind of like 250 to 55. So let it break 50s. I get it in front the first time at 48. Let it break 50s, doesn't get past 52, add to the position right back in at 48. Now suddenly you have a bit of an out at that 52. I can start scalping some out. If I'm risking literally 4 or 5 cents, I'm going to start taking profit at 4 or 5 cents. Same thing with CRVS. I get the 33 short, takes them out for about 15 penny winner. Now I want to hold the rest of it. But on that note, because someone mentioned in the chat, I think it was Michael Travis in the chat, made a great point about why isn't Clover doing better? Healthcare is a great place to hide. 100% in this market right now, healthcare is, I think, a great place to be. We have a video about it, I talked about it, but why not pair something with pair a Clover with something like, and I should have had the stock already up when I said this, oh my goodness, Neil. That would make a little bit of sense. You could easily just talk about Danaher here, which we did mention. This is just one of the stronger names. And look, whether you like a United Health, or it doesn't really matter. Like, I just think Danaher has been so ridiculously strong. And we talk about relative strength. Oh, really, chart? I apologize for these wicks, but I guess I can still kind of demonstrate the fact, no, you can't, not with that. On a 15-minute, I can do this and demonstrate that as weak as the market was yesterday, this stock barely budged off of its highs. So you pair something like, if you're not in healthcare and you like Clover, which is obviously a little bit more speculative, then pair it with a Danaher, which is strong, right? So you get the overall sector play, or just pair with an ETF. That's the same thing you can do here. But that's one way that you could play something like that and feel a little bit more secure. Brendo?
I'm just going to mention this Acceleron, XLRN. What a move this thing's had today, from 139 to 154. Just made day high, which is also all-time high for Acceleron Pharma Incorporated. Nothing major as far as headlines to pass along. Also, guys, while I have you, QuantumScape, almost 40 million shares so far today, just popped up on volume again as well.
Yeah, we saw that early, and we'll have to check out QuantumScape, because actually, you know what, that's skipped my mind today, to be honest with you. I didn't even think about it, but we do know that there was an unnamed. Maybe that's been named now. There was, if we can review what that news was there, I believe it was they signed some sort of a agreement with an unnamed automaker to supply or work on, I guess, solid state batteries. What I'm guessing there. But we'll see. I know they already have a deal with, I think it's a financing deal with Volkswagen, so we can watch that. DraftKings apparently does confirm that for Entain, it's a 2,800 pence per share offer that they've made there, which I thought was about $20 billion is what we heard about. So DraftKings trying to make moves big time, and they're making moves to the downside right now. So it's about $10, about $8 less than where I sold it. This may be a good opportunity to get back into DKNG, but again, I don't think the damage is done in this market quite yet. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, still unidentified, or I can show you quote unquote large automaker for QS teaming up with. I don't know if you could get much larger than Volvo, which they already have a deal with in place. So yeah, still unnamed for QuantumScape.
But they didn't say it was bigger than
I thought it was Volkswagen.
It's Volkswagen. You said Volvo, but it is Volkswagen. But just
okay, Brendan.
Just to go back to QuantumScape for a little bit here, this is almost the same thing that we just talked about with Life and the breakout, that 2450 level. It's so many times that it's testing it here. Well, the other thing is it's QuantumScape, so it's a little bit more dangerous to short this name, just because it's going to be more thin, it's going to be more prone to squeezes. I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, all you guys, or Brendan, 19 or 20% is somewhere where the short interest is on QuantumScape still. Which does give you a little bit of risk that you could get squeezed out. I feel like this is the move, and if 1, 2, 3, and then a flush isn't going to at least take you down to even test 24, like what are you expecting to happen here if you're taking the rollover short? It's much easier to look at this play after having broken out at 24.50 and then failed once and then try to get it back in on the downside. But I'll give you an example of why that doesn't always work, and that is that relock, right? So I take some shares out, we're able to get them down here. I got 42s, and we get some out at 41 as well, and then it pops right back out. I'm getting that recent high that got made at 52, so 48 twice, down into 41 and 42, and then we stop out here at 52. And again, I like that structure of a trade because it allows you to mitigate your risk. You're taking profit on the way down. It's just a way to not go all in on one outcome. Like, you're not just saying on a stock which is going to have, you know, 5, 10, every 5 cents this is going to slow down. And that way, if it stair steps down, that's one thing. If it stair steps and then breaks out, you can still make a little bit of money. You can limit your losses. You're not binary that, hey, it goes in and goes all the way down into VWAP. If you're trading something like an HLBZ, then yeah, maybe that's the bet that you want to make because it's just that volatile, right? Like, you want to be very binary. Like, it's either giving me this consolidation and flushing right into that low, or I'm getting stopped out. It's just that simple. It's one and done. That's the kind of play you want to make. And even then, like, let's be honest, like on an HLBZ, that's not even how I approached it. Like, when I got to 40 short, I was taking some at 38.5. I was taking some at 37 twice. I took some at 35, and then I hold all the way to 32. I wasn't trying to shoot $8 on the entire thing, even if that's where the last of my position went out. So that's just the way I like to trade because you're exposing yourself to more positive, I guess, probabilities that are out there. And to me, trading is all about probability. Brennan.
Sean, your request has been heard, it would appear, and DraftKings has responded. So more details here regarding this deal or latest offer here. So it's 2,800 pence per Entain share. Remember, this trades in London on the London Stock Exchange. So we're talking about UK here. The offer consisting of 630 pence in cash and the balance payable in Class A common shares. So the equivalent, therefore, of 20 billion? It's a lot.
Yeah, I don't even know what Entain is, but it must be a very, very, enticing property for them to get because it doesn't make any sense to me, really. QS, okay, Clover. Oh, okay, I'm going to put this in the chat right now. So this is something that I want everybody to retweet like crazy if you can, okay? And it's my plea to Kathy Wood to come on here, see if we can't get her on. It's Kathy Wood right now. Let's see if we can. I mean, and this is what we did right here. We were trading Palantir. I'll show you my Palantir trade. It was a great dip buy on that. So if you can, I'll put it in the chat there. I'll put it again right now, copy it. If you're watching, please retweet this and then tag her. Well, they already tagged her and ARK Invest. I would just love to get them on the show. That's all. I mean, Brendan would crush the interview with these guys. I think we all know that. So let's see if maybe Kathy Wood wants to come on our show. I've seen her do other shows. I don't see any reason why we can't get her on ours. So we're going to try to get Kathy Wood here from ARK Invest. It's all about Palantir. I mean, look, Kathy, I'll plead to you right now. I mean, I even got the hat here. So we're a Palantir investor. We've been there since day one, and we support Palantir, and we support ARK, and that's that. And I mean, you know, I'm hoping that we can get her on, and we'll see. I mean, the more retweets we have, if any of you know, Kathy Wood, then hopefully send her a note, or anybody that works at ARK. I think this would be a great platform. We have, 30,000 views on this show, let alone, or on our first show, sorry, let alone this show. So, I mean, I think it's worth it. 250,000 subscribers. Let's try to get Kathy Wood on the show. So that's my call there. I mean, we've had Kevin O'Leary. We already know that. And then various other heads of companies and things like that. So we would love to get Kathy Wood on the show. And on that note, that's not Palantir. This is Palantir. I mean, this is what we're talking about, man. It's right on the sticky note today. We said, let's buy some Palantir if it gets near 26. Got near 26. We actually, unfortunately, when this was happening, we had other concerns. We got out of Palantir there, but that was a short. So we actually shorted Palantir there on the break. Remember, the market was really negative this morning, so we covered that. We got overfilled in that stats. We only have 2 trades today on Palantir. The short at 26.50, the cover at 26.25. Small 25-cent win. And this was the banger right here. 26 long there, out for a dime, and then out right about. At that time, we thought maybe VWAP was going to break, so we did get out at 26.60. You're now ripping to the high side, but that's another 40-cent win right there for Palantir. So, hey, you know that we love to trade some Palantir on the show. Let's see if we can't get the head of state, Miss Kathy Wood, here with us.
The head of state. I love that. I love that term. You know what, to be honest,
I even gave her a new nickname.
There's no question that she's the most, if not
super
the most, but one of the most active at least in terms of running a fund, they're very active, and it's like that's why there's an appeal to short-term traders and day traders in our audience. And I know you guys would be very interested because she discloses like why she buys and sells and is very active about doing it every single day, which is pertinent to day traders. That's why it constantly comes up. One that I'm still holding on to, and again, I still have that CRVS. Never got the dip buy on Dutch Brothers there, as it's still bouncing off 56, then holding at 58. But we just made another higher low on CRVS. I got out some shares at the teens. It's still holding. Now, we're flat. We have to be flat at the end of the day. Yeah. Sean and I, of course, we're day trading. And at some point, like as much as I think we're getting back that, we can get to this cluster here and quickly take a 50-cent win and not try to shoot for too much more. At some point, I might have to give this one up and not even say, let's give it to the high of the day. I'll adjust my stop. That'll probably be before 350, as I always say, just about every day. A lot of these stocks, I like to be out of them or make a decision point to tighten a stop or tighten a target by about 350. It seems it's a little bit arbitrary. Some of it has to do with imbalances. In this case, it probably doesn't. If I was in, I'm only saying that because my chart's on Disney right now, Sean, but if I was in a Disney, I would consider when they had news that maybe there could be an event at 350 and I could tighten a stop on a level like that. Speaking of CRVS,
it's funny you say that. I mean, I just tightened my stop. I didn't even know I didn't even know you were going to Disney. I just see it keep bouncing off here, and we'll throw it back to Neil. I just want to talk about it because we did get out. It just bounced off 173 too many times here, so we will still give it to. I have no more offers, so if this rips, great. But there it is. We just took that out, and it was small. It was only 28 cents or so. What's my price? 170.30. So we took it out. Yeah, so about 60 cents there. So we'll see where it goes from here. But I did tighten it up. So good point.
I mean, it's something we have to do as day traders, and not everyone always does. Last thing on CRVS, just to point out to you guys. There is now, like I'm short at 33, as you can see, but there is an offer. It's hard to see now because you can only see the ARCA book popping every now and then for 18,000 shares. But there's about 50 to 60. There you go. There's another 50,000 share order sitting above that. So I'd call like 70, maybe even 75,000 shares at that glance that are sitting at that 930 level. And if we make a dip down into 980, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to cancel my bid in that cluster here because I saw that seller. And if we break 9 even, all I would do is move my stop from 950 to 930 where that same order is, and then see if we can fall further. So that's a quick adjustment I made, and it has to do with that level 2 size. I don't want that 930 breaking now, and then I hold all the way to 950, and my short is above that price, which sometimes it's just blind luck that somebody shows up on the offer. Now, this is a consolidation that a lot of people are going to be shooting for a top at anyway, so every now and then you get lucky, like I could have been short 25s, I could have been short 31s. I happen to have it in front of that seller. If they break, it's an easy out for me where I now can't lose.
We do have there's ATER, so must have just broke a little bit higher. That's okay. We will end the roller coaster day there on ATER. Look, we were hoping that we could shoot the moon on this or to the downside, I guess. Shoot the moon. Isn't that a yo-yo move? Shoot the moon. I think I used to be able to do that. And then there's also rocking the cradle and then walking the dog. You know what?
You know where I know that from?
Well, first of all, Rob isn't here, but I bet you that guy can probably like swallow a yo-yo and bring it right back up. But
100% he can. For sure he can.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
He does every trick.
I don't know. We'll see about that.
You don't think so?
Randy, stay out of this, Randy.
You think there's any chance that Rob can't do yo-yo tricks? The guy, he can juggle flaming swords while on a unicycle. Okay, so I'm pretty sure he can handle a yo-yo. I don't think that's stretching it. He's literally a magician, and he's literally a clown. I think he can do it.
I misspoke. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, okay. Anyways, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but we are now out of ATER. I really don't even remember what we were doing anymore. Where am I, by the way? At the office. Okay, good. All right. So that was good. So we will see there. I mean, what I was just saying is Rob is nuts and does know. I mean, the guy's fantastic. We've seen some of the tricks that he does. So. Okay, we'll see if that happens. All right, he's on vacation. He should be back tomorrow. And you might remember, Rob, the guy that I think he hit his head on that bell one time, and I wish we would have had that. That would have been the best if we had that on camera, but we did not. That was a very questionable move. Anyway, I don't think he did it on purpose. He says he did it by accident, so we'll see. Okay, what else are we talking about there? Let's talk about quickly on Facebook, because Facebook made a nice little move back today. I mean, to me, this is no surprise. I said yesterday that if we were able to hold Facebook, I loved it at 350. Yesterday, in the afternoon show, what we're doing right now, we were down here at these 350 levels. This was my best trade yesterday. We had this whole move. We had it down here at 351, and we covered it at 350. 54.50 or something like that. It was a big trade for me yesterday on this exact show. So Facebook, we talked about this being a hold, and then now today you could have got out of 360 on a pipe dream, but right now we're right back to 360 again. So we like Facebook. I think that's one of the strongest names you could buy into this market. Facebook, what's up, Brendo?
Tegna, guys, one that popped up a little bit earlier. So they've come out and said, yes, they have received an offer from Apollo that is apparently worth $23 per share, according to Bloomberg. So heads up on TGNA. It wasn't really much action or response. It did get a new high there on that release. So they did come out and say, yes, they did receive that offer from Apollo at $23 per share, guys.
Jacqueline Cobb can get Cathie Wood? I don't know. Who is Jacqueline Cobb? Should we know that name?
She's in our chat. That's one of our members.
Right, okay.
Is that true? Jacqueline, let us know in the chat. Can you get us Cathie Wood?
Yeah,
yes,
I mean, it's... I don't think there's a better interviewer in the game, period, than Brendan. So, yeah, nothing to be...
We'll steal him.
Well, I've already said we're going to lose him at some point. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Me and you will probably go nowhere, but Brendan probably off to the races. No, we're just kidding. We will let you know when Brendan gets that offer. But okay, Facebook, we've already talked about that. And Disney, we still are waiting for that to go. I don't know, 173.50 is still going to be the shot that we're looking for right there. And Clover's not doing anything. So we do have Toronto imbalances coming out in approximately 5 seconds. So why not show it to you guys right here? We'll sort by size. So when it comes out, you should see a big trade here somewhere. Nah, not real. Whoa, that's not bad today. No, it's not bad. Sometimes we just see hundreds of thousands. Now we have multiple hundreds of thousands, which isn't bad. Suncor continues to be a top one for a bid. So is CNQ. So we'll go back to the oil patch right there on both of those. MFC, and then some of the banks. So nothing really on here to get me too motivated. If we ever see millions on there, then we will look to address that a little more than thousands.
Yeah, 1,000% there. This is a weird dark pool print that came up to like 908. I can tell you that's not true. It's not a real print on CRVS here. I've now trailed it to 9 even, so I'm going to continue to trail this down and let it slide through this cluster, probably into that breakout range of like 860. Just get out in front of it. Now I'm looking to take like 70, 75 pennies or so. And part of this sort of sliding it down further has to do with that size offer that just sat there. It didn't follow it down. There was some size at 9 even, but it wasn't the full 75,000 shares. It came down. It was probably about, I saw about 15 to 20,000 shares that were on that offer at 9. So it's enough for me to hang on to this just a little bit longer. I don't know if I'll get another position in. I just missed the shot on Bros. You might have heard me under my breath there. If you did, it was little Bros flush. I was looking at that 54 level. It happened pretty fast. You guys, if you've been trading Bros the last few days, or I mean, since it opened up, you have an idea what the spread looks like. So you can see that it falls down to 54, about 54.15 here. But reality is, if you're trying to actually get into position, you probably had to be sitting at the 50 range or been really fast to catch the offer, because it goes down there, the spread opens back up, and you're trying to get in at 54, 60, 70, 80, even if not 55. I don't want to catch it after having missed out on the move. You're looking to try to catch that first little bounce down, try to snag it for that easy money dollar, because you're really counter trend at this point. Like Bros is now down $8. Now there's a trade in there each time, but I missed it. I was on the bid and missed it by 5 cents there. I was watching level 2 and missed it by about 10 or 15 cents. And that's part of it. Like, you have to be, if you want to manage risk, then you're giving up something, right? So you're either being less aggressive, you're not holding your trade as long, you have a stop in. Like, there's something that you're doing to mitigate your risk. And for me here, it was making sure that I got an entry that I liked, and I'm willing to miss out on the trade to not break my rules. Because this stock, if you watched it on Friday, not having that kind of a plan and letting it whip around, I mean, you can get killed with a spread like this when it starts to open up, and then suddenly you find yourself just getting whipped around all over the place. So I don't want to have that happen to me. I'd rather miss out on a trade than get broed on Bros.
Get broed on Bros. I like that.
It doesn't even make any sense, but that's fine.
I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know. Whatever get broed means. Okay, let's move on from that. Let's look at FedEx here. So, I mean, FedEx has been on a little bit of a slide, heading into earnings today. I mean, not today, but just recently. Where's my daily chart? We can check out a 20-minute chart. I mean, a lot of names have been down there. So we touched 250 today. We can definitely watch to see what's going on. Let me check out the daily chart. It's 20 minutes. That's the 1 minute. Oh, man. This is the slide that we're talking about for FedEx, right? So, I mean, I've been watching this name. I really like FedEx. I think that, again, if you're looking to get into something, guess what season's just around the corner? Oh, look at this. not working. Oh no.
What?
Where's my Santa? We're supposed to have a Santa thing here. I have it, and it's just not working. But anyways, just around the corner, it doesn't matter, Neil, don't worry about it. Just around the corner, we do have Christmas time coming around, and I just wonder about FedEx. I think there could be some upgrades coming on this name. Obviously, though, guys, we do want to wait for the report before we buy. Don't ever suggest buying something into the report. It could flush down. If we get a flush tomorrow of FedEx, I'm going to be sitting here at 240 buying that flush, hopefully tomorrow for a longer-term trade. There's also UPS in this space as well, but right now we're going to go over to Brendo.
APT just popping up here, guys. Looks like on the, not sure which website this is, but notice of intent from the government in the U.S. to buy a whole bunch more surgical masks, it would appear. So if you remember that Alpha Pro Tech is one of the major PPE suppliers in the U.S. So APT just popping up here on a big volume spike to $8.
Alpha Pro Tech.
Mississauga.
What up?
Anyways, yeah. Canada, because they're a Canadian company. Oh, there we go. Did you hit it?
Congratulations to the Liberal Party and Mr. Justin Trudeau. You just did an election and ended up at the same spot you were 2.5 years ago, but you did get 4 more years. So I think for him, it was a success, and thank you for everybody.
I'm going to throw in a tidbit that Brendan said.
What?
Apparently, we average when it's a minority government, it's an 18-month is usually, so we're probably back in the polls in a very short order because that's how we roll in Canada.
That's ridiculous. You can just call like an election whenever you want, but hey, we'll stay out of that one because politics is not our thing. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who voted, at least because that's what you should do, whether or not your party won or not. I mean, you should vote. There's been a lot happening to get that right. Yeah. And that's what it is. So thank you to everybody for voting, and I know I did, and we'll see where the government goes from here. Let's just hope everybody is safe and happy. That's all.
That's all we care about here, and we are always happy when when plans go to action. And every now and then, like this is a short that originally I was taking this out, the last of it in that 870 to 880 range. I had a bid out here. You guys can rewind. I said I would. I had the bid out. And then we got that big offer that was sitting at 930 above our price. And I told you that when it broke that 9 even, I wanted to move the trail. And then some of the size came down to 9, and that's why I hold it down to the next cluster. It's going to end up working out. And I just feel like when you're day trading and it's a shorter time frame anyways, it can make a little bit of sense to open up, adjust your plan of action, like adjust your target, adjust your stop, especially in this situation where time is against me. So I'm usually adjusting going into the close, but you can't ignore things like that, right? Like if you're in a parabolic mover that has a rollover which is coming, and it's an easy short setup here when it already fails to break 950, goes to 54 and comes down. Like I'm going to be in that regardless. If there just also happens to be a big seller in front of it, I'm going to take advantage by either getting more shares, which I don't love doing at the end of the day because we have to be flat at the end of the day, or just allowing it to travel further downside, further than what your original target is. So either take more growth or take more shares when you have a bank error in your favor, as I like to call it, because I didn't do anything to put that size in the offer at 30. It just happened to show up, so I got lucky. So why not take advantage of that luck when you can?
Roger that. And again, if you're sitting there, it's a little bit lucky to get filled, but you got to be there. People saying BBIG, so let's go over there and have a quick look to see, and let's give BBIG just one more chance. It's probably going to fall flat, but okay. No. Let's go. Or how about this? This is a juicy trade right here on BBIG, so we'll continue to watch it. Come on, charts. It's hard to
go long in this, and you'll have more money, more problems. That's
yeah. And there's absolutely no problem with that because we will wait to see where we're going back down to the downside right now. 650. Yeah, it just broke. Probably a technical break right there, unless there's some news. This doesn't look like news. It's not up or down enough on that from 630 up to 660. It's a small move. I just think it probably just broke this one. So, if you're going to give this one more chance, you may want to do that. So we'll wait to see here. But 670, 660, this little level there, not much on BBIG. It's been a bad day for them coming to the downside. Vinco Ventures, 680, 660, something like that. If you look at a longer time frame, let's see if we can get an idea here of where we may stop. So, this is just, sometimes it's just too easy if you're ever in these, right? And I hope that we can say to ourselves that greed is not really part of what we're doing anymore, because the last time this is literally a stop at 675. Then 4 days later we stop at 675, and then 6 or 7 days later we stop at 675. So right there, if you are lucky enough to be Good, fruit fly. If you are lucky enough to be long down here around 620, that's your stop, man. You don't have to get perfect. You can go to 660, something like that to take that out. But right there, that's a good out if you got it. And if not, maybe we break higher here. Let's take a shot if we break above 675, okay? That makes sense to me. So 675 long on BBIG, even though there's only 10 minutes left. I'm going to try it small.
And that's the thing, have a plan of action. Well, for us this late, we have to be flat. For those of you that can trade in the aftermarket, you can extend those moves. We mentioned FedEx. They're not the only ones reporting. There is a company that has a much better looking daily chart, which has not been it's been under pressure, of course, because we've been pulling back off of highs recently in the overall market. But Adobe managed to hold. There was a recent breakout at 640. It didn't really extend that far. We got to that 675 high and it reversed off it. So that's a bit of a technical level as well. And then we're bounced off the 50 period here, which anything that did not break below is in a good dip buy spot. Of course, I would never buy anything going into earnings. But if you ever get Adobe giving you price in the 600 to 610 range, that's going to make a heck of a lot of sense to me. But we saw what happened with Oracle's relative strength, and Adobe is showing some relative strength to the market here. And I'm not saying we're going to necessarily break out from here, but I would be much more inclined to think that there's going to be a dip buy opportunity on Adobe than a breakout through 675. I don't think that's going out on a limb to say that. That's why I'll be geared up to look at 600 to 610. It would be a deep push to the downside, but like we said, despite recovering today, we're only 0.2 to the upside. We're as high as 0.75% in the overall market, and I'm not sure the selling is done. And that's why I lean into dip buying on something which looks fantastic, like an Adobe as well. Candidly speaking, I'm in Oracle and recently trimmed it, and then only saw it come right back to my price. So it is what it is.
Yeah, okay, so Disney, we just took another bid here as the imbalances are now out for New York. So we're going to let this go here. It's been decent trading. We should have got more out at 173, obviously, in hindsight, but that's 2020 when you're a trader, that's for sure. There goes Disney. I thought my out was going to be, I think we might have just got triggered out there by accident.
That was gross $1,000,000.
I don't know. We are going to call it up in a minute. We just got out there. I don't think we should have, but it doesn't matter. We are out of Disney there. That was, I guess, a mistake, but that's okay. We're going to wait for 171.50. Looks like it's going to come anyways. I think we might have got a dark pool wick there. Let's just call it up. So we tried Disney. We failed it. In and out there, our last out. So we gave it a shot. Not big shares for sure. Oh, Apple. There we go. That's back-to-back jacks for Apple there. The last couple of days, it's come out on the bid side. So there you go. You see this? We haven't even filled out yet. So Apple was just at 143.60. It's not a big move. It just bumped up 20 cents on that. Other than that, we don't have much. Oh, bro. There it is. I told you, and again, hold me to this because I'm fine with it. It's my call. I said bros is going to be $48. I mean, what day is it today? Tuesday? How about Wednesday? How about Thursday? So I think bros goes back down to the downside. I don't know if I'd be a buyer at this side, and someone probably agrees with me. So there you go. Hey, Clover, what's up? You're going to continue to be the, stock that I don't like, but we're not in this very heavy, guys. We did clear it out. We said that we weren't going to be averaging into this anymore unless we got into the 60s. So right now, let's just get out of Clover. Looks like a 10-cent hit. So be it on Clover, but I never like leaving my last trade a loser, but it looks like today that'll be the case.
It's interesting to me that a million share imbalance, and I know it'll probably pair off on Dutch Brothers, but it didn't even move. The stock didn't really do much of anything. It stayed in the exact same range it was before, and that's testament to the fact that it doesn't always mean it's going to move. I got pie in my. I don't have a single execution on Dutch Brothers today, despite the fact that in the morning show sometimes you put it. We talk about prices we like to buy dips. And I'm embarrassed. I'm definitely embarrassed to say this because I pulled up my 15-minute chart and said if this stock dips down and gives you an entry point in between 48 and 45, that's going to be a dip buy. The only thing I can say is it broke 48 and only went 70 cents. And you know the spread on this stock. That means it was barely there, and that's the way this thing is trading. It's never going to give you the easy look, I don't think, when you get these harsh moves because it dipped right into that cluster and then immediately reversed out of it. What you can do in that spot is you can take less shares outside of your target range and then have the wider stop. So whatever you would have taken at 46.5, maybe take half those shares because you're giving it twice as much room when you're long at like a 48.50 or something like this. And that allows you to, you're still exposed to the long side of the trade and you can still use that support level. You're just risking $3 instead of $1.50, but the overall principle is still gonna be the same. And Dutch Brothers moves like that. And if I had played that way with the short trade, the other day on Friday, then I would have been able to hold on to it, but I essentially had too many shares and had to have a hard stop and then got punked on Dutch Brothers. So I'm going to adjust my strategy on Dutch Brothers. It's always less shares and give it more room. It's the only way to play the stock.
Yeah, you have to. The spread is just simply too big. We've canceled our BBIG trade. I mean, if that was going to happen, we wanted it to break out right from here, 675. We just showed you back. I mean, we didn't even show you today. We just showed you the last 2 weeks what 675 held every single time as a top. And it also, I didn't even realize this, it also did it today, right there at 11 o'clock when we tried to bounce back upside. 675 was the stop and go spot right there. So that happened again, happened again, happened again, happened again. So that's 4 times now on BBIG. And again, this is what we preach. You know, you got to be able to trade things with a risk, assessment. And for me, BBIG right there. Let's get going on that one. We will wait to see what's happening right now. Adobe, right? Adobe has good calls coming in to it right now. So I think there's some call buying happening in Adobe. And again, we like Adobe. I like it, but today, ahead of earnings, it's always very dangerous to do that. I am nervous about some of the forecasts. You heard Disney come out there and just give a shocker to the market. We can find out where Disney is right now. Yeah, not too bad. It's still down to 171, but down 4% for this. I mean, how many billions of dollars is 4% on Disney's market cap? Quick math. I don't know what their market cap is, so I can't even do quick math there. But 4%, they've lost a lot here today. We've tried to battle with some of the longs and lost. So, but Uber. If you were long yesterday, I mean, look at all these trades I have on Uber today. It's crazy. And thank God we got out of the way, man. Like, I cannot believe that I put on the sticky note, short Uber, gave the levels, and I was short. All of these are shorts, and yet we are still positive on Uber today because we're able to cash in here, we're able to cash in, we're able to cash in, and we don't have too many ticks where we're wrong. So Uber today, wow, $45, another great level. Let's put that in yield cap for tomorrow with Uber. Let's watch 45 levels. Oops. This could be a good swing trade if the market blows up tomorrow.
I actually said this morning on the show, if Uber gets to 45, you'll see me short in front of it, and then I didn't do it. So yeah, it literally got to 45 even. This is what we mean. This is on the daily chart. Look at it on the daily chart. That's a great level. That's why we mentioned it this morning. It's actually only a 50-cent win. So it's probably better tomorrow than it is today because that's not I would expect a bigger retracement, and I'm the guy that bought Uber yesterday, so I'll get that one out of the way. But you still got to day trade. You cannot trade your own book. I came in only looking to short it or buy it on an extreme dip, and then ended up not trading it at all. So it didn't participate in any of the day trade long in Uber despite that big move. But 45, if you're not looking at this level tomorrow, I'm not sure exactly what it is that you're doing. Just a quick note there. I put in the chat that ARQQ that we're looking at earlier in the session. I think it might have been during Memes and Movers, if not at the end of our show. It was about to close on the highs at 33, another strong move, and it even broke a double top. So this one is still running just a little bit. It should be on everyone's radar for tomorrow. I would, and again, if someone likes to short, if you get a chance and it was down, a gap down to 33, and then could put in a lower high at 31.50, that would be a great setup. But hey, it's going to do what it's going to do overnight, and I can't control that.
Yeah, we're getting a note here. Several U.S. states file antitrust lawsuits, but we already talked about this, I believe, at least on the midday show, Memes and Movers there. JetBlue and Americans. So there's going to be some talk about that agreement there. So Americans actually, I looked at a daily chart, and I was actually surprised here that AAL is kind of held up. We can go back and look at LUV as well, Southwest, but AAL pretty much holding up right now. I wonder, there's been a lot of volatility out of this name now, so that would make sense. And unlike, let's just check out LUV quickly here. This was around 50, yeah, so not back down to 49. So a lot of the airlines right now not doing a lot. If you did, yeah, as if this is going to work for my chart. So there we go. There's the hourglass of hell because it is 3:57.
Only a matter of time, right?
What's up, Brandon?
Our earnings board was having a similar problem here. I was waiting for 4 or 5 minutes for this to load. Here's earnings, guys, aftermarket, and before the open tomorrow.
Randy probably didn't pay the internet bill, so we may lose internet
That's
here
why.
At any time. So yeah, all my charts now slowly falling down. But yeah, we've talked about them. I think FedEx is a buy, but I want to see the report first. Whoa, hello. And then I remember last time Randy was sitting in that exact seat, the show ended early. So I'm not sure why he's even allowed to sit there, but there it is. What up, Randy? Always calling you out for that.
Thankfully, it was like 2 minutes before it was going to end anyways, but it was certainly a lot of fun. If you were watching that day, yeah, that was quite interesting for all of us. I'm with you, man. Like
Yet
FedEx,
he's allowed back.
Wait for FedEx. You can be patient with it. Adobe, I think I'd be more aggressive buying dips on that one. But we'll see what happens. I don't know if anyone cares about General Mills, except for my wife, 'cause she hates Kellogg, so she by default would like General Mills. With only 2 minutes to go, by the way, stick around. The trade of the day is going to be on that crazy I already forget the name of the stock, NNVC. Nanovibronic? I want to say. No, Nanovibronic's a different company. I knew I forgot the name of NNVC. Man, there's too many symbols we go through at the end of the day. But it was a crazy mover because
Nanovaricides.
Nanovaricides, that's what it is. So look, obviously it was a crazy mover. You had the big massive halt. I had never seen anything quite like it.
Show Randy more love on the show. That's all we do, man. When Randy comes in, I show Randy love.
I'm always thanking him for the Timbits.
I put the poll up to you guys. Who did you want on the bell, Randy or Valeria? So here we go. You're going to get a treat again. Oh, God, there it is in the background. Here we go.
Maybe turn the volume down a tiny little bit.
I don't know what to do.
Don't anger the guy who's about to ring the bell.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's going to ring the bell there. It's Clyde. Is it Clyde or Clive? Clyde. How big is he nowadays? 160-ish. So Great Dane, Clyde, for Randy. So a lot of room to run in the backyard there. So that's great.
A big dog,
okay, with only 40 seconds to go here, we're going to get ready to ring the bell. We can do a quick check, guys, on the imbalances. If you want to come to my screen real quick. Yeah, everything's basically paired off now. AT&T, a small sell there. I saw Bros was there, now is gone. These will all happen near the end of the day. So it's not really leaving too many shares here for the market on close. Looks like it'll be a pretty orderly close, guys. With only 20 seconds left, let's get ready to close this show off.
Yeah, Trader Pratt just walking around there, and I think did he just bump you, Randy? Maybe he just did, but I'm going to drop the countdown there. Pratt, don't get in the man's way. He's got a job to do, and it's to ring the bell. We are still positive, even though
we got to get Trader Pratt to ring the bell.
NASDAQ falling to 15,000, but it's still positive for now. 3, 2, and 1. Hold it. Hold it.
There we go.
That was pretty close.
Yep. Okay, Randy. So, all right. I got to show him like what happens at the NYSE and what happens at NASDAQ. It's just like a simple little thing, and then it's over. But that was a good one. I thought that was like a crescendo.
That was loud.
That was like building up to that. So thank you for that, Randy. That was good. So we'll wait for FedEx to come through, and I think we should get Trader Pratt to ring the bell at some point, and I think he will do that. He does trade the close, so that's part of the reason why we don't have Trader Pratt there.
I know we're going to go to Brendan because usually our corporate is probably having issues.
I was so close to being right about the NASDAQ.
But we're positive.
Yeah,
we're still up 0.07%. We did run down to 15,000 or close to 15,000 right at the end there, Brendan. I don't know if our corporate is working, but
yeah, I can show you one that will give you an idea. Yeah, we did make it to positive tear. These two, not so much. This was positive until about 30 seconds. So the S&P slides back into the red. The Dow the same. The NASDAQ, though, yeah, positive on the day, which is nice. The Russell, though, 0.5% for small caps here in Toronto. Decent day as well. Look at Brazil leading 1.6 to the upside, guys.
Yeah, 1.6. I saw the Mexican market as well,
Brazil,
so South
baby.
America doing pretty good. I want to give a big shout out, of course, to Randy once again, and Lucas and Maggie. So thank you guys. If you have that shot right there, there we go, a nice little top shot there. Thank you so much, guys, for the ones and twos. A great show one more time. I want to thank Miss V and Trader Pratt, of course, for holding it down on the midday show. There they are. What's up? Yeah, guys. All right, so they held it down. And then, of course, Brendan bringing the news. A big news day, man, with NNVC, Disney coming through, DraftKings coming through. Kathy Wood's going to come on our show at some point. Power of positive thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get her on.
all you got to do is Jedi mind trick, man.
That
Jedi
insight never reopened, by the way. We can check maybe.
I didn't see why. Okay, so we'll look at that tomorrow. But guys, stay tuned for the trade of the day. It's going to be Neil on NNVC. It was a great one, and we will see you tomorrow on Hump Day. It's Wednesday, guys, so get ready to trade. It should be a good one. Turnaround Tuesday sort of happened. We'll see what brings us on Wednesday. Ciao.